Listen up, Gotham.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hiya, Buttons. It's me, Harley Quinn.
This is Batman.
This is Robin.
Tune into the Bat Fan Addict Podcast.
The Bat Fan Addict Podcast.
The Bat Fan Addict Podcast.
The Bat Fanatic Podcast with Sammy Warmhands.
With Sammy Warmhands.
The Bat Fan Addict Podcast. Bat Fan Addict Podcast.
Although, Sam, you might think about changing the name.
Fuck, everything hurts.
That's the first sound. Oh, fuck, everything hurts.
Clip it.
All right, so today we are not reviewing a book. This is a Grandpa Batman suggestion in that we just get together and shoot the shit, talk about what we've been reading, what's on the shelf, maybe what's in your poll, and that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, I guess since this is your idea, Gramps, I'm going to put you on the spot, and what do you got for us?
Well, first, I want to address this situation that I've got going on. Do you guys have stalkers?
There's this guy who lives out in the bushes, but I don't really think he's a...
Well, I don't know. It's
Not
like
there yet.
ever since coming on and being a host of this show, I've acquired this group of young stalkers.
Is it us?
Well, no.
Like they keep texting me all the time.
It gets weird, man. It gets really weird because they think I'm their uncle.
What is happening right now?
Wait, what?
Are you being serious?
I'm being dead serious.
No
I'm
way.
being dead serious. These kids think I'm their uncle, and I'm like,
Uncle Gramps?
what?
That's
What
so
world
funny.
do you live in where you think I'm your uncle? And they're like, yeah, we know you, and I'm like, no, you don't.
Okay, so where are you? Is this Instagram that you're interacting with these people? Or is this in real life or what?
Yeah, tell us more.
I need some context. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't
like,
know? Who are these people? Where do you find them? Where do they find you? I think we caught him in a lie. He's like, well, I don't.
Are you fucking with us?
No, I'm not.
Uncle Gramps.
Pardon my cough. Yeah, they think I'm their uncle. I don't want to really get much into it because that just kind of eggs them on.
In what format are they contacting you? Is this real life? Is this online? How did they find you to have this interaction? You said it's
obviously, yeah, through social medias.
Okay, and you said it's based on the show. They heard you on the show.
Yes.
Okay. Do they know any of us? Like, what's? I'm just curious. Like, break it down, man.
I'm ready to be your uncle, guys. You can bother me.
Uncle Dunk.
Dave's looking for family here.
Yeah, I'm over here fucking looking at my damn Funko over here. That's the only child I have.
Yeah, I'm going to point him in your direction. Uncle Sam. Hey, that's
No. I'm actually, I technically am an uncle, and I claim I have no ties to those kids. I'm
the only child, guys. I need some fucking attention.
Yeah, no, I don't like kids. I don't want to hear from kids.
I'll push them your way.
Yeah, sure.
But
whatever.
anyway, it's been kind of weird. These kids think I'm their uncle.
He goes
It's
from
just
Gramps
nuts.
to uncle.
Uncle Gramps is the funniest fucking thing. All right.
Anyway,
you are so mysterious, you know. You got like this whole you got this whole other Marvel collection thing that you like mention but won't talk about. You've got you know on your other social media, like I knew you for fucking years before I found out you had a whole other page.
And Daredevil comes out of nowhere.
Right, I had no idea, you know, and then like when I would post a new episode, you know, we all tag each other and we share it, and then on like one certain platform, you're like, don't tag me there. I don't want anybody to know that I'm on this show. And then we hear this, that you volunteered this story and then won't elaborate any further. Like, you're a very interesting guy.
I know.
Well, guys, at the end of the day, Uncle Dunk is here.
Yeah, Uncle Dunk.
Yeah, I got you. Got you.
Throw him your direction.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can piggyback rides.
Give them Dave's personal address.
I don't know about
that. Done.
It's also my business address.
All right.
All right.
I'll send them your way when they need some CGC and.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then I want to lead and talk about books because this past week was a huge Batman drop, right? Jeff Loeb has 2 big sequels going on right now. And the one that just came out, of course, is Batman 158. This is Hush 2. And I'm talking to you guys about it in our group text as we're getting ready for this show. And nobody's read this but me. What the fuck? What's going on?
Nah, man. I have to go to my LCS and pick them up. I know I got the Lee Bermejo aside, Sean Murphy aside, and then the A cover. And then that white and gold that glows in the dark.
Oh, yeah. Just the emblem.
Yeah, I pulled that aside too.
What do you think about, I know you haven't read the book yet, but I'm sure you've seen some of the pages and panels that have come out. On the cover here, it's got the classic Hush design.
Yeah.
But on like that variant you were talking about with the emblem, he actually uses a kind of Gary Frank style black and yellow circular emblem in the book.
It's interesting. I'm looking forward to read it. I should be reading it hopefully sometime this week, but I'm excited for it. It's like it gives us something to like be excited about. It's another event, you know?
Which I've talked so much about how I have event fatigue and I'm tired of these like massive crossovers and shit. But when this was announced, my immediate thought was, oh, thank God Jim Lee is back on Batman Interiors. Like, I love your variant covers. Sure, that's great. But Jim Lee is back on Interiors with Scott and Alex. Holy fuck.
It's huge that he's actually doing this because the workload and the commitment just to doing the interiors plus his other, side little job.
Yeah,
plus he does so many events anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And now with the launch of this, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
That gambling money, homie.
In my defense, the reason why I have not read it yet, well, one, I'm been so far behind on the Batman main title, but I've been on my deathbed. So I haven't been able to get out to a shop in a while.
Wow.
But I'm really interested in, I keep seeing all these variant covers and they look amazing.
There's so many. And of course, I got the blank.
There you go.
Because I just put my Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Alex Sinclair triple collab sketch on the market. I put it on my eBay.
Oh, man, dude.
I love it. It was the first like Grail sketch that I got. But this whole time I've been building this sketch cover wall ever since then. And I just got this little guy over here on my desk. And I'm like, I want the Batman on the wall. And he's got this CGC event going right now where he's doing the blank cover sketches. And Alex is doing it with him. Sadly, no Scott this time. But still, I was like, dude, if I could sell this and get a blank for the wall, I would be happy with that. So,
that'd be dope.
So I got this blank. I've been using you, Dave, and our friend Mike, the Sig Slayer, and friends all over as my blank variant hookup because my LCS just doesn't get them, and it's driving me crazy. And so finally, I've been going to this other shop as well lately. They're called Books with Pictures, and here in Eugene, Oregon. And I went in there and I was chatting with the manager one day, and I said, "Hey, yeah, it's cool. They're in Portland as well."
Okay.
And I was chatting with the manager, and I was like, "Hey, let me pitch something to you. This is unusual, so feel free to say no. But what if I open a box and I subscribe to no titles? None at all. But any single time you see a new blank from DC, you throw it in there, I'll buy it. Any of them. You order it, I'll buy it. No questions, right?" And so I made up a little list. Here's some that have come out in the last month or whatever. Here's some that are coming out in the next month. And, just for example, the kind of thing I'm looking for. I was like, yeah, great. And so this was the first one. Like, hey, Hush came in this week. Great. Went in, picked it up. And I'm really excited if this is going to work out that I may have a hookup so I'm not paying shipping or, whatever reseller charge and getting them on eBay or whatever the fuck. just want to get my blanks when they come out because there's so many
that's
coming
a great
out.
idea.
Yeah, so I don't know that this. I mean, it might be a pain in the ass for them. It might not work out. I don't know, but they seem to be down with it.
Nice.
And
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to more.
That's great.
Yeah.
And again, any blanks you need, let me know.
Yes, and you've been great. And
Dunk, shooting blanks. Yep.
All day, homie. I am the kid.
so
Dunk.
tell me what is on your poll right now. Do you guys both have any titles that you're getting every month?
No, because I
No.
normally wait for the trades.
Yes.
I like to collect the hardcovers, if I can.
Me too.
I've jumped on the Uncle Gramps train, and I've been buying trades for things that I read now. I don't do the weeklies, although I do like going to the shop and picking stuff up.
There are certain artists though that I love their covers, so I'll buy their single issues just on the cover. Like anytime I see a Dell Auto,
Sure.
I'm going to buy it. People may hate me, but who's the other guy?
But,
You talking about
the guy who
Brian?
did I know you talk about the guy who did the AI nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love his covers, so I'm going to buy them.
Oh no.
Can't think of his name. Wow, that's bad.
I can't either because I remember hearing something about that and then I just unfollowed that
Is
person.
it Francisco? What's his
I
last
think
name?
so.
Something. Yeah, but he was an amazing artist. It was stupid. Like, dude, you did AI work, but you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
And you took a shortcut. You are in the caliber, like you are where people wish they were at. Like people draw comic books to get to a certain point, and you're there, and you're like, oh no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a shortcut.
There was a lot of I don't know, strong suggestions that maybe he would take
Francisco Matina. There we go.
Matina,
yeah.
a pose of one character from this cover and transpose it to a character on this cover.
Yeah, with the same pose.
Kind of a lot of that.
Yeah. People were saying he was tracing, but then when the AI thing happened, it was like,
Nope.
I didn't hear about that, but all I know is like, he did some amazing Batman 89 covers.
yeah.
I loved them. I don't care. You know what? I like the art. I like the image. I'm going to buy it. So
I had a stack to get signed by him, and then he didn't show up to whatever con it was. It was like a mega con last year, I think it was. And I was so disappointed because I was so ready to get all these books signed. And then right after that, they released like a Superman cover, and there was like multiple S's or something. And then it was like Lois Lane had like 2 earlobes and multiple earrings.
Yeah, it was goofy looking. It's like, what editor approved this too?
Yeah, so it's like everyone should get fired. So then he had this string of exclusive variants that were supposed to come out, and because of this, DC was like, "All right, these 12 covers are no longer coming out," and just chopping block. I'm like, bro, like you're actually a decent, like you're a great artist. I've seen him draw drunk, and
saw him at Dallas.
Yeah,
I mean, he was doing sketches, and you're like, I mean, he's amazing.
He's talented.
Super talented.
And then he wanted to take a shortcut. I'm like, bro, like you made it.
And like,
Can you just
Jay Lee.
feed the AI images of your old shit and just be like, here, just do that. Give me the paycheck.
Dude, Jay Lee, he's another one of my favorite. I mean, I think I grabbed some Thundercat single issues just because, I mean, the way he draws characters, I love it. So I actually, every time I see him, every time he comes to the Dallas Comic-Con.
Fan Expo. Gotcha.
Fan Expo. There you go. I get a commission from him. Super cool dude. Actually loves to talk about
dogs
and animals. He's very compassionate and has a passion for animals. So
very personable.
He drew both my dogs.
Yeah. Well, I was there for the second one.
Yeah, it was crazy. He loved it. But he's another artist that I like to collect his covers.
So you guys
But I
are
don't
more
want-
just like, if something catches your eye, that's what you're on. Otherwise, you're going to wait for the collected edition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got stories that I've been waiting on for years.
So I have traditionally been a trade waiter as well. And when I first started this podcast, you know, like I would even get uncomfortable. Like I'd be at a con or a comic shop and people would be like, "Oh, hey, you're into comics." And I'd be like, I don't feel like I know what I'm talking about because I got my little graphic novels on the shelf, you know, and I had like 20 books and I was like, I don't really know. I felt like I didn't belong, like I couldn't hang or something. And then in 2020, I've been really anticipating the Jason Fabok Three Jokers.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was when I opened my box, was for Three Jokers, because I didn't want to miss out on any of it, and I didn't want any of it spoiled for me, and just I jumped in. And with that, you add another book, and, you know, it just grew. And I had to pare down. I was subscribed to too many titles about a year or so ago, and I'm kind of getting back up there again. So part of it is because I don't want to get anything spoiled. You know, we follow a lot of fan pages. We are fan pages ourselves, you know, and everyone's really excited when there's a new book out. I think people are pretty respectful in general, but, you know, if you wait even a couple weeks, I think that's kind of fair game to drop something from a new issue, you know. And
See,
so
I'm blessed with a memory that, I mean, as soon as we get off here, I don't even know what we talked about. So you can spoil anything for me, and I'm just like, I'll forget it.
We changed your name on this episode, so don't forget.
Uncle Gramps, he forgets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the screen. I even changed it on the screen.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. So I guess
Ticketmaster still sucks, but that's cool.
with that said, I will grab a couple of these issue number ones. These are things that I'm subscribed to right now. I just kind of grabbed the first one from each. And some of them, like this first one, were people that I didn't know. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before. Oh, maybe on our unaired MegaCon review for the Everything Batman podcast. I think I talked about it there, so nobody's heard it yet. But
Thanks, Tom.
going to these cons and working them, the last couple, has been cool because each time I didn't know who I was going to get paired with. I just show up and they go, "You're over here." I'm like, "All right, cool." And so 2 cons in a row, I've worked with, at this point, you know, 8 to 10 artists that I didn't really know at all prior to that. I didn't know their work. And so usually you go and you bring your books and you're a fan of this guy and you hope that he or she is nice and you make a good connection at the show, right? And I've been having the opposite experience working behind the table where it's like I'm working, I set up the artist's booth, and then they show up and we meet and we work together all day. And it's like, oh shit. And then it's like, wow, I really liked her. That was cool. I want to look into some of these books we've been selling all day long, you know?
Right.
And hey, would you mind signing one for me and shit like that? And so this first one is a writer that I worked with in Orlando. This is Benjamin Percy. He had just dropped, this is the Liber Mayo variant. He had just dropped Deadpool Wolverine #1. And I have been allowing myself finally to start buying some Marvel titles as well. And man, this is just gnarly, fuck shit up fun. It is so good. And Josh Cassara on the artwork is phenomenal. And in fact, I'll tie in with this other book that's relevant. So the first one that I subscribed to a while back is Wolverine Revenge, and this started last fall. This is Greg Capullo and Tim Townsend.
Oh, nice. Capullo has some great covers, like variant covers for that.
Dude, and one of the things that made me jump on this is that there was 2 versions of the whole book, and they were releasing this Marvel Red Band edition. So it's like their black label where everything's like extra gory and no language filters and all that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they had it like sealed in a poly bag, like an old school porno mag. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. Like you're speaking my language here.
So they have the rated for teens version, and then the same story with
gnarly art and uncensored language. Yeah, so if you're always wondering, like, what the fuck are all Tom King's little censored, garbled out words, right? If he was writing for Marvel, they would say, well, here's 2 versions. You can have the censored, garbled words on one, and then you can have all the fucks and shits on the red band version. So,
hi, Marvel, good for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's a cool model. They don't do it on a lot of titles, but... Yeah. You know, Capullo, Wolverine, this was enough to make me change teams. And the artwork was so fucked up. Like, you know, in the first issue, they're like ripping him apart, blowing him up. Like, it's just guts and pieces everywhere. And you're like, holy shit, I'm, you know, living in Gotham City for all my comic books. You never see anything like that. And so I was just kind of shocked and entertained. And so when I met Benjamin Percy, it was like, oh, you know what? I could do another Wolverine book, and it's super fun and funny. And
nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of those.
What do you rate it so far?
Wolverine Revenge just finished. It's only 5 issues.
Okay.
And, you know, the writing isn't really anything too crazy. I mean, the writing's maybe a 2.5 or a 3 out of 5, you know?
All right, yeah.
But the artwork is a 5.
Consistent.
The artwork is a 5 out of 5 the whole time. Nice. And he's got FCO, who colored a lot of his Batman stuff on, I think, the first 3 or 4 issues, and then Alex Sinclair came in at the end. And the Deadpool Wolverine stuff with Josh Cassara is phenomenal. Like, it's like Ben's writing is really, really funny. It gets all the Deadpool stuff and the situations. Like this last issue, they're fighting in like a Elks Lodge or something, and so Wolverine's got his claws, and Deadpool like starts fighting him with the head of like a dead elk or something, and like, you know, prodding him with the antlers, and then he breaks them off, and now he's got antlers against Wolverine's claws. You know, so like it's ridiculous. But I like it better than the movie. I'll say that. So yeah, and then a couple more titles here. This is another Marvel one. This is Charles Soule. We've talked about how much I loved his Vader, and he just dropped Legacy of Vader. The first 2 issues are out now, and they're focused on Kylo Ren, which, if I remember correctly, this was taking place right after The Last Jedi. And so it's kind of bridging the gap there. But I was really impressed by the first 2 issues of that. Want to talk about an indie title? Corinne Howell, Lilith.
Nice.
Yes.
I met her twice last year because she was working with Sean Murphy, as she does often table next to her. Oh, cool. You got a signed one.
Yeah, I got the sketchbook.
Oh, rad.
Oh, sweet.
So this hadn't come out yet when I met her last year, but she was very cool, and, you know, just kind of, sometimes you glance at people's table and you're like, oh yeah, you can see the talent, but, you know, maybe you collect a certain thing and they don't really make that thing. And so you're like, well, that's cool, but I'm not going to take anything home today. Right.
Yep.
But then when she announced her #1 was coming out for her creator-owned thing, I was like, man, you're writing and drawing this? Like, I'm going to check it out. And I was blown away by the first issue. I thought it looks beautiful. It's got a nice little cliffhanger at the end.
It's kind of fun.
And yeah, there've been a couple delays, but issue 3 is coming out really soon. I think they just had like a print issue, and they're redoing
it. Like her
her
first page was like in the last page or
something. They printed it backwards.
Yeah, they're like out of order or some shit.
I hit her up and I was like, save those. She's like, why? I'm like, those are going to be worth a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
She's like, really? And I'm like, oh my God, you need someone to walk you through all this.
The manga variant. That's what it basically is. But I mean,
black and white. I used to tell Evan those are his black and white backwards books.
What's so funny about her is that by looking at her and meeting her, you would not think that she draws something like
some evil
the Lilith
shit
character. Yeah, it's twisted. I love it. It's like so cool.
I'm reading the first issue, and I called my wife in from the other room, and I was like, dude, she just bit this guy's dick off. Like, first First issue. Oh my God. This guy was ready to get down and she just fucking, wow. Yeah.
I'm ready for more.
Yeah.
I know.
Sometimes
I feel like I'm like going to get in trouble for having this out in the open. But,
You could.
I could.
Yeah.
So
if I cared.
We talked about it being a great week for Batman with Hush 2 coming out and Jeff Loeb having 2 titles. Have you guys been reading The Last Halloween at all?
I read the first 2, and then I was like, I gotta stop because I want the whole thing collected.
Right.
I've pulled those.
That's usually my trend is when I get in
sample it,
something like that. I'm like, okay, does this wet my whistle? Does this make me want more? Oh, yes, it does, and I'm going to hold off and I'm going to wait for that hardcover.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really on the fence about this one because it's like, dude, how are you going to continue this without Tim? And the first issue, I was like, oh my God, this is a full-on tribute to him in the same way that it's a sequel story. Like, this is so cool. And then the second issue and the third, it was like, oh my God, some of these guys that had known Tim forever, like Mark Chiarello was the editor of all the Long Halloween stuff. Dude, his issue was fucking brilliant. And then, Marini, one of my favorites, did the last issue. And like, it's just been really cool to see. And you've got Dave Stewart coloring almost everything. So it's very consistent. And, Richard Starkings is back in the fold. Like, this is just great all around.
Yeah. It kind of gets you a little emotional kind of looking at it in a way. And I was just like, I gotta wait to get this whole collected. It sucks because you have to be patient.
Yeah.
And I'm not very patient, but it's going to be worth it because, I understand buying the floppies and the weeklies keeps the stores, our comic shops that we hold so dear,
right?
Keeps them open, right? But man, I was just like, I'm buying everything twice if I just keep doing that.
Yeah, basically. And I've learned that I can trade in a stack of trade paperbacks or something and, get a little trade money. But man, I can give them a whole short box of back issues and I get like nothing, so
nothing.
It kind of sucks. Like there are some titles that I'm trying them out and I have such a hard time. Like even if I start watching a crappy movie, I kind of have to finish it. Like I'm just, I have clinical OCD. Like it's a medicated degree that I have it. And so like, it's very difficult. I got to really fucking hate something to shut it off, 20 minutes in. And so I'll start subscribing to a title and I fucking hope I like it because I'm probably going to be in it for a while. And that's why I like these miniseries. Long Halloween is 10 issues or Wolverine Revenge is 5 issues. I like that because I can just commit for a short time.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel like I'm very rarely on the main Batman title or like next I want to talk about, I am on Detective right now because when Tom Taylor took over, his Nightwing was so good that I had to give this a shot. And the way that this is all just it's so character driven. It's so like everything we love about Bruce and, his parents' legacy and just it's that good dramatic stuff. It's not some giant over the top crossover, the end of the world fucking shit. It's like the psychological Batman stuff that I really like. So These first few issues have been really cool and a really good. We had a great Damian focused issue recently from this as well. But yeah, are you guys fans of Tom Taylor? Have you read any of his stuff?
Mm-hmm. Nightwing was so good. I really enjoyed it.
I have the first 2 trades of that, and I waited because there's I trade waited even on the trades because the omnibus is finally coming out.
Oh, really?
This summer, and so I was like, yes, I'm gonna get that and read the whole motherfucker. Yeah,
because I was picking up the variant. All the B covers were beautiful. They were fun, so I was just picking it up because I'm like, oh, these covers are great. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should read this. And I started reading it, and I was like, shit.
He would like.
I'm here now.
I remember I think it was in the first or second volume, Bruno Redondo had the entire issue was like one panoramic scene. So like each page is a splash page, and they're not like it's all happening like linear, like a side scroller video game would be or something. Like the whole thing is sequentially in a straight line.
It was like having a panel, but like every scene was
a
different
it was like
scene,
a panoramic
it was the same
issue.
thing. It was so dope.
Man, fucking really creative team on that. And after I read Fear State or whatever, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold off and see if they collect the whole thing, and they did. But I was interested in what he would do with Detective, and so far it's been a good fit, I think.
Nice.
The last one I'm subscribed to right now is Black Canary, Best of the Best. This is Tom King and Ryan Sook. And I knew Ryan Sook from he did a bunch of Harley Quinn homage covers. Do you remember those a couple years ago? Or it would be like DKR with Harley, by the lightning bolt. Or it would be like, the old school, like Robin the Boy Wonder, but it would be with introducing Harley Quinn and she's jumping through the drum.
Those are fun.
He did a bunch of those, and I followed him, and I really liked. I thought they were very, very faithful adaptations, and then I saw some of his original stuff. I'm like, wow, this is great, and I don't know if I've read a solo Black Canary title, and I kind of just went into it knowing nothing, and the whole thing is like based around this like kind of MMA fight to the death thing, which is like not my thing at all. And then it's Canary versus Lady Shiva, and I was like, well, I'm sorry, that's retarded. That's like what? And then when you get into like the character stuff and the motivation and the reason that this is occurring, I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. And so there's all this great backstory with Canary's mom who's training her, and the weird dynamic that they have, because they got kind of that like Silk Spectre 2 sort of connect, like I bequeath my mantle of the character to you, and it's got some really cool stuff. I will say that Tom King is doing a lot of Tom King in this, and so there are some
bad thing.
There are some issues where I don't read the narration boxes at all because each issue is like around in the fight, and then it'll cut to backstory and whatever, but you cannot get away from the sports announcers outside the boxing ring that are like narrating blow by blow the whole thing, and how he loves to do
all those extra
that
details
shit like that. Yeah, and so like I don't even know 5 issues into this thing, and I don't think I've ever seen one of these announcers, but they're on every fucking page. So
they're there.
So not not my favorite Tom King style, but there's great character stuff, and the fucking art is amazing, like worth the price alone just for the I'm blown away, not just by like the action of it, but the emotion, and it just, man, it's so good. And I think Dave Stewart did this one as well. Yeah, he did. So yeah, really strange premise. I'm like, why would anyone fight Lady Shiva in a death match? That seems misguided. Yeah. So those are my polls right now. What have you guys been up to? You grab any trades lately? Anything that you've been excited about, or grab any back issues after the fact?
Well, first, I'm really happy that we're kind of doing this this type of episode, because normally we have a plan about what we're going to talk about and what we're going to read, and we do our research, and then we come together and make a show. This is more like,
so much better to not have homework. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Excuse me. This is more like, hey, what are you reading outside of, Gotham, or when we're watching these Superman movies?
Right.
So
that you love so much.
That I love. I love. Man, give me some more of that.
Here, this is
Let's do.
I posted this to my Instagram, but the stack of books that I have picked up in the last quarter. I don't know if you guys follow this guy, Man Bear, but he had posted his stack of like, here's everything I bought the first 3 months of the year. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what I got this year. And so I dug through my shelves and came up with a nice little stack there. But yeah, a little more variety than I used to. Like you said, what are we reading outside of Gotham?
So, as you know, and as the nickname alludes to with the Grandpa Batman, a lot of people still ask me, why do you call yourself Grandpa Batman? They don't know, and they don't get it. But it all evolves around Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, right? You got an older Batman. And everyone who knows me knows I like Frank Miller's style. The gritty, noir, elements of his storytelling and world building. And I've owned this book for years, and I've never gotten around to reading it. And what motivated me to pick it up was the fact that for Christmas, I saw that this sequel had finally been published, and I wanted it so bad. So I knew I had to read the original before I could read the sequel. And it is Frank Miller's Ronin.
Okay, yeah.
And this is a book. Yeah. This is a book.
I never read that. Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Is that a slip cover, or is that like a translucent slip, or is it like spot gloss on the?
I don't know, bro. I mean,
like, is it see-through on that, or is it just
no?
Okay.
No,
I still love when they use the little spot gloss like that to make it have some depth on the cover art.
So this title was originally published in 1987.
Okay, so
sorry, 1983, July 83 to August 84 is a 6-chapter miniseries.
Okay, so this is around the time he would have done Wolverine with Claremont.
This was written around the time he was still doing Marvel, and this is the book that a lot of, your Jim Lees and all the people that came into the comics and were reading comics as young teens and young artists at that time. It's one of those titles that they all refer back to as an influence.
Yeah.
And this is a book that I went into completely blind. All right. I knew that it existed. I knew that, the lore behind the title, but I didn't know anything about the story.
Yeah, I don't even know the setting or anything.
And it's a book that I went in thinking, okay, Ronin, that's kind of a samurai that doesn't have a master, he doesn't have the honor, because a samurai is basically a knight, and they fight for their king, and without a king, they don't have a master to kind of steer their purpose in life. And that's what a Ronin is. And also there's that recently Ninja Turtle story, The Last Ronin.
Yeah.
And so I went into this thinking, okay, it's this one thing. Very quickly, I see that this is something completely different than what I thought it was going to be. And after reading it, I was just like, and, we talked about in our Batman Year 2 story about how interesting it was to read that story that's been around for almost 40 years with a point of view after reading so many Batman stories, and then going back and reading that one. And you know so much about the character, but then you go back and you're reading this story and you're like, well, he would never do that. You would never do that. But you also got to realize, okay, we've read all these things for 40 something years. Reading it with the point of view and from the eye of when this was originally written. This was originally came out in 1983. And I had to keep reminding myself of that because it just really, and this is my opinion, it's almost like it unveils the genius of Frank Miller in a way, to me, in a whole new way, because it's just like, this man sees the future 30 years before the game, and now all these things that he's been writing about and made up with his crazy imagination, it's like stuff that's happening in the world right now. This book, talks about the threats of AI and artificial intelligence that becomes, develops its own personality and becomes sentient and has goals and wants. And and what do we do as a society if we let this thing overtake and become, our God in a way? It's crazy, man. I started reading this and I was just like, this book right here. One, it was originally intended to be a Marvel book.
Mm-hmm.
When you read it, you're like, this could be an X-Men book.
Who published it?
DC.
Really?
This is the book that started the talks and negotiation with him and DC.
Okay. I guess I always assumed it was an independent title or something.
No, it was put out, I think, by Vertigo, but under DC.
Okay, sure.
If you buy this now, it says DC Comics on the spine.
Okay.
But they said, basically the agreement was, we'll let you do whatever you want. Come over here. We'll let you do anything with the story.
That's amazing.
And now I will say this, and like I said, looking back at it, reading it, I mean, this is probably him the artwork is very raw.
Is he inking
edgy.
his own stuff?
Yeah, he did everything, and then Lynn Varley painted the colors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just him and her as the artistic team. He wrote it, drew it, she painted it. I mean, the artwork is raw and edgy. At sometimes it's just like really loose, but then sometimes it's just like, whoa. Because I've seen some uncolored pages from this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's insane.
A lot of times what I appreciate about Frank's art is different than what like a lot of artists, I love how they render faces and emotions and certain things. And the thing that draws me to Frank is how he can lay out a page and the way that he can play with perspective and lighting and contrast in these really interesting ways that kind of they add a lot. It's like when people say, Gotham City is a character in our movie, and like the setting is so much like that's how a lot of his art, especially like Sin City or something, feels to me that it's really trying to put you in a different world,
Well, the thing that,
it's cinematic. I guess that's why it translated so well to screen is that it's very cinematic.
Yeah, and I've read where there've actually been a lot of talks throughout the years to bring this to a live action thing, but his artwork, it's not perfect, and sometimes it's not even good, and it's not intended to be beautiful. It's meant to evoke thought and emotion, and that's what I get from it. Even in his other, works later on in his career, Sin City, for example, it's meant to evoke, the story, but also, your emotions. It pulls you in, breaks your heart, and it puts you in a different mindset than, an artist. And I'm just going to, use these names as examples, but like, you have these artists that are comic artists and they are just beasts, your Jim Lees, your David Finches, your Jason Fabbocks. I mean, they can draw a perfect portrait and it looks like you took a photograph with a camera. It's that good. They can even render it where it looks 3-dimensional. But there's sometimes when I read those panels in those pages, and there's a lot going on, and it kind of distracts me versus a simplistic, more, edgy, raw panel from like a Frank Miller.
Well, that's
tells
interesting
more
too,
of a story
because
and moves it along, so I don't have to sit there and study the lines on each thing to understand what it is. Because I get stuck studying the lines, and all I want to do is move to the next panel on the next page and keep the story going.
well, that's why a good colorist will lead your eye across the page.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I wanted to say though, in terms of Frank, I recently one of the books in that stack that I got was the Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, Joe Rubinstein Wolverine, that 4-issue run from the early 80s. And it was very interesting to see a lot of stuff that they had drawn directly from in James Mangold's The Wolverine, the second solo movie, where he is surrounded by these like ninjas who are, all stabbing him from different sides and shit. I was like, whoa, this is different for Frank. This is a lot different than the stuff that I had seen in Gotham or in Sin City from him.
Yeah.
And it was cool for me to see an earlier thing like that. So I would be interested to check out Ronin as well.
Yeah, and I mean, there are some panels on this where, he does get very detailed because the elements of the story require that. And then there's some pages where, it's just like very open and lots of negative space. He's a master of using that negative space to make you look at an image. Kind of circling back to my point, and, Sam, you and I, we're musicians, and the best reference that I can think of is like, you've got guys like Yngwie Malmsteen that can just shred and go crazy.
Yeah.
But after about, 30 seconds of that, my head's ready to explode. Because I'm just like,
is there a melody somewhere?
Is there a point to all this versus like a guy that plays like Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day?
Right.
It's just bar chords and riffs, and it's just like he moves the song along in a way that you're just like, oh wow, there is a point to this. He's going somewhere, and it's building and building and building. And sometimes that's kind of how it is for me with art. And here's what's fun about this story is that, have you ever read a book where
no, actually I don't know how to read.
You can't read, but Dave, is there ever a book that as you go along and you're reading it, you kind of think of, man, I can hear a theme song to this?
It's funny. I actually listen to movie soundtracks when I'm reading.
Do you?
Yeah, I love putting on movie soundtracks when I'm reading. It really sets the mood.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty solid.
I'm reading this and I'm like,
Phantom of the Opera a lot.
Holy crap, I could totally hear like some Japanese Daft Punk stuff going on with this because it's a crazy story, man. And I'm telling you what,
I'll tell you what.
Dang it, Bobby. It's good. Check it out. But here's what's crazy.
Dave, you got to make fun of the Texan once in a while.
Here's what's crazy. The sequel just came out.
Oh, Jesus.
Snap.
And he did this with Philip Tan.
This is new, or is shit that was just unreleased from before?
No. This is like came out in 2024.
Huh.
And Philip Tan does most of the interiors. And I'm telling you what.
Is it in the same style? Like his
sick. It is sick. It is. Well, Philip Tan's a different artist. It's kind of loosely based on Frank Miller's artwork, in a way. I mean, he's obviously drawing his way, which is kind of some of it's kind of looks a little like in their faces and stuff looks a little bit like, manga. But like the way he's drawing like these demons and monsters and crazy stuff. I mean, it's just,
oh, wow,
over the top.
That's one thing, man. Some artists, I might look at a normal page that they do with male and female characters or something, and one will grab my eye more than the other, or maybe nothing at all. And then I'll see them do like a fucking Venom or a Godzilla or something. I'll be like, holy shit, this person's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about the sequel, it's called Ronin Rising. Frank Miller's Ronin Rising. The sequel's in all black and white, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of helps set the mood of the story and stuff like that. But a lot of times for me, colors can kind of get in the way. But if it's done right, it really adds an element to the story. But I really like black and white books as well, too.
Do you ever read like noir editions, like re-releases? Mm-hmm. I've yet to pick up any myself, but it seems like a cool idea.
I actually have...
Especially on an older book where it has like dated colors. I personally love, I know a lot of people don't, they think it's sacrilegious, but I personally like when they have like, Brian Bolland recolored The Killing Joke. I'm like, yes, I love this shit. Like I love when they bring those classic books like beyond their limitations, or like Year One, the Absolute Edition. It actually has 2 books in the slipcase. Like you get the newsprint fucking flat colors, then you get the modern retouch, and I love having both.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's on my radar. I'm still finishing Ronin Rising, but this took me on a roller coaster trip. And I mean, as I'm reading this, I'm like, holy crap, this is where and I hate it when people say this, as far as like, this influenced this influenced this influenced this. But this really is where you can see some direct relation with a lot of franchises in our comic culture that were directly influenced by this one book. And I'm talking probably the most famous of them all is probably Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, sure.
Because there are elements of this.
Which today is the day of this recording, the 35th anniversary of that first film. My God, still one of the best ever comic book films. Man, so good.
But yeah, I recommend.
Nobody gives a fuck. I'll just shut up. I'll see myself out. Dave, you got to quit turning off the mic when you laugh, because no one knows you're having a good time.
Dude, the but yeah, that shit fucking had me rolling.
It's like, ignore this guy. I just want to do this episode so we can talk about Frank Miller.
Best comic book film. Yeah, but yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Moving on.
It's like, fuck your opinion.
All right, so Dave, what is your latest and greatest? What's been on your shelf?
I have a stack compared to you guys.
Well, I left a lot of it on the shelf because, I can't get through everything.
All right, so I'll be quick because I'm reading 7 Years of Darkness by Joseph. I crush his last name every single time. Smokey, Skulmoki, whatever. This is kind of like a Harry Potter book almost, but people die, right? So the way this works is 72 teenagers go into this school of darkness, of dark arts, and they live in darkness for 7 years, and only 7 out of the 72 are allowed to graduate, and everyone else dies, right? So, it's dark as shit. So,
what parent is sending their kid to that? That's a really low survival rate.
It's Harry Potter with people dying. I'm in.
Are they cannibals?
No, it's all
is
about
this Yellow Jackets?
And
exactly.
They get thrown into these events that they have to do and stuff, and then it's like, oh my God, I lost my friend, but I can't die. I must go on. I must be the top 7. I'm in. So he's legit,
whatever. Get to class, you little shit.
Yeah, he's legit writing it within the next 7 years. So this is year 1 that I have here.
So tell us, what made you pick this book up?
I spoke to him. I met him at C2E2 2 years ago, and he was telling me about the story. And I was like, I'm in. When is it coming out?
Right.
And he's like, if you subscribe to this or whatever. I'm like, I'm not subscribing to anything and paying anyone anything. I'll see you at a con. I'll buy this, and I'll start reading it. Yeah. And that's exactly it. So year 1's out. He's working on year 2 right now.
Cool.
But I got another 5 years of this.
And see, that's cool because just like with Corn Howell and her Lilith story, you're meeting these people at cons. You're able to get their stories at cons. They're not going through the normal distribution chains. A lot of it is creator owned and creator published. And so it's very important that when you buy a book like this, you're directly supporting that artist. So,
and the beautiful thing, he handles his own publishing. So it's like,
wow. Right.
Like, dude, you're crushing it. Another dude from Maine, right? Another series that I'm enjoying, I just bought volume 2, is Ice Cream Man.
Okay, tell me about this because it's on everybody's like best of lists, and I don't know what the fuck it's about.
Dude, it's the fucking Crypt Keeper, but he's an ice cream man.
Oh,
it's the Crypt Keeper legit telling these whacked out stories about like one issue, because every issue is a different story, but somehow they all like different things link all the stories. One being the ice cream man, but like there's like a spider or a cockroach going from one place to the other, ends up in Mars. It's weird. But like the one story, this kid is he had a spider and
I'm out at spider. Nope.
The spider bit both his parents, and his parents are just paralyzed in the kitchen table, like, and he's doing whatever the hell he wants. And it's like, hey,
fuck taking care of them. Now I can do what I want.
Yeah.
I'm free.
He's like, dude, where's your parents? And like people try to figure things out, and then like they go and they find out that his parents are dead or whatever. But it's legit like the Crypt Keeper, but the Crypt Keeper is the ice cream man. And the ice cream man's telling these ridiculous stories. And
like the dude that drives around your neighborhood playing the little silly song?
Yeah.
Is he like
it's freaking
abducting people, or is he just
spinning
just, yarns?
He's secretly starting the stories.
Huh.
Like, hey, I'm going to put this spider in your ice cream and see what happens.
Oh, God,
like,
no.
Yeah.
Why would you take the best thing and the worst thing and put them together?
It's so good. And then, like, all the covers are like, when you look at this, you think about Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
So they're all like fun covers. So I read volume 1, and volume 2 just released. So I just picked it up. So
I've seen so many people talk about that or have it on their bookshelf, and I've always been like, what the fuck could that even be about?
It's very entertaining just because like every issue is a one shot, and then like there's one issue like someone's going to space, and somehow it's like, oh yeah, my nephew, his parents died, and it's like somehow everyone's linked, and I'm really curious because the volume 1 was 25 issues, which wow. For one. Yeah, for a hardcover, to have 25 issues was phenomenal. And then, when I got this, Midtown Comics had a signing with the writers. You have Maxwell Prince, Martin Morozo, and Chris O'Haran. It was the only time all three of them were together. So I got it signed.
Nice.
They had the worst signatures.
That's like a Charlie Brown T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's just a scribble. It's just a sawtooth sound wave. That's funny.
Yeah. The signatures are freaking hysterical. Like everything about it was like, okay, cool. These guys are funny because is this really your fucking signature, dude? Really? All three of you guys? And you think about Tales from the Crypt Keeper and all that stuff. It's like one series was a guy who like jumped off this fucking he jumped off a building. And as he's going down the building, you see what's going on every flight. And it's like there's like people fighting and all this stuff.
That's
and it's like
funny.
It's so random where it's like you don't know what you're going to read on the next issue. So it's very exciting. It's different. It's something that again, it's the Crypt Keeper. It's phenomenal.
I like that each one of us has had a couple oddball, maybe indie titles on our list here today.
Yeah, you got to spice it up a little bit. There's a lot of great writing when you give something a try, right? You got to give something out.
I literally never, ever did. I never did.
Same.
The only thing I read outside of strictly Batman stuff for the longest time was Invincible. And then, there'd be a couple things here and there, like when Mattson Tomlin and Lee Bermejo put out their Vicious Circle last year, or certain things have been like, I'm going to take a chance on this, and then, ooh, it paid off. Okay, well, maybe a little down the road, I'm going to take a chance on that one. Ooh, it paid off. And so it's definitely making me more, I guess, appreciative of the medium and less just tied to a character or a set of characters,
100%. Now, kind of like Batman, we had James Tynion, who did Batman for a while. I wasn't too crazy about his Batman run, but I was hearing this, Department of Truth, and I'm like, all right, cool. You know what?
Yeah.
My conspiracy theories, I'm in. So I started buying all the trades. Here's volume 3 and 4. But I gave a friend of mine, like, dude, you have to read volume 1 and 2. I'll give you these. They took a huge hiatus for a while, and he stopped writing for a bit. I think they're on issue like 29 now. But Department of Truth, let me tell you how it starts, guys. So let me tell you, main character is this agent called Cole Turner, right? He meets who's the one who shot JFK? Oswald, right?
Yeah, Harvey Oswald.
Okay. Yeah. So he's still alive, but he's part of the Department of Truth. He's one of the heads of the Department of Truth.
Okay.
So he recruits this guy, but what got me into this was I saw one cover and it had like this shadow figure that is like my sleep paralysis fucking guy who shows up sometimes. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with this dude on the cover? I'm like, I'm freaked out. And someone explained it to me. And I'm like, all right, now I got to read it. Because like, there's not a lot of people know about this black figure that shows up and scares the crap out of me. But apparently it happens to other people. So I was like, all right, I'm in.
I have a podcast I need you to listen to about this. Okay.
Send it. Because there's also a documentary on Netflix called The Nightmare. And they're releasing a Nightmare 2. Can't wait. Not watching it, but
can't wait to listen to a podcast review of it and not watch it.
And not watch it because the last one I watched, I stopped after 25 minutes. But issue 1, Cole Turner gets him meets Oswald, and he's like, "Hey man, you got to come with me." He's like, "Why do you look familiar?" And he puts him on a plane, right? So everyone on the plane, it's a bunch of flat earthers.
I hope it goes down.
Oh, it's worse than that, dude. So
they go off the edge.
And they're all like, oh my God, we're going to go see the ice wall. Can't wait to go see the ice wall. Oh my God, there it is. And you see them like on the plane, like looking out the window. And the plane lands. And they're like, oh my God, we knew it. We were right. Blah, blah, blah. Man, the agents from the Department of Truth whip out like AK-47s and kill every single one of them.
Was this book written by Joe Rogan? Tynan, what are you doing?
Issue 1 just slaughters.
No, it was written by Alex Jones.
Seriously.
No, but slaughters all the flat earthers. Bam. Brrr. And you see this lady in red out of nowhere. So Cole Turner is like, who the hell is that lady in red? And he's like, what the hell is going on? He's freaking out. And Oswald's like, oh, don't worry about it. We just need her to control this. And the whole concept of what I think is a concept after the 4 volumes is the belief system. The stronger the belief, the more probability that it's actually real, right? And it's the belief system of these conspiracy theories make it real, which is nuts. So fast forward to like issue 11, they had a Bigfoot episode. A big episode. It should be an episode. I can't wait. If this goes live action or going to Netflix, I'm promoting it. I'm wearing T-shirts. I'm whipping out flyers. But the best one was there was a guy. It was issue 10, I believe, where this gentleman, he grew up with his dad, and his dad always like, "Hey man, Bigfoot is real. We'll find him. You have to follow me." And they kept on going into the woods trying to find Bigfoot. And he's like, Bigfoot's not real, man. We're never gonna find him. We're never gonna see him. This can't be real. He grows up and he continues his father's legacy of looking for Bigfoot.
His dad was Bigfoot.
No, that'd be nuts. There's a new book.
I told you, son.
So he tried to bring his son into it, and his son's like, Dad, this just sucks. Like, I'm not gonna go hunt Bigfoot with you. Like, shut up. The Department of Truth finds out that this gentleman believes Bigfoot is real, and they find him. But the moment they find the gentleman that believes in Bigfoot, Bigfoot shows up, and he kills Bigfoot. And
Don't spoil it.
No, dude, this is issue 10. We're on 29 right now. There's no spoilers.
Well, I'll forget it anyway. So
yeah. And he's like, "Oh my god!"
What were we talking about again?
He's like, "Oh my god, I killed Bigfoot. I killed him. I can't wait to tell people about this." And they were like, "Oh no, you can tell whoever you want. No one's going to believe you, but Bigfoot has to come with us." And they take Bigfoot's body away, and then normally, kind of like the Men in Black, they erase people's memory or kill you. Right? That's what the government does. Eliminate you. And because they don't eliminate him, Cole was like, "Why didn't you kill him? Why didn't you get rid of him?" And it was like, he's going to go back and everyone's going to think he's fucking crazy. And I was like, wow, that's dark. And because of that, when I got to that issue, that was volume 2, I was like, I'm invested. I'm in. When I see James Tynion, I talked to him about it. Like, dude, you're nuts. That's awesome. I'm in. So now I'm waiting for volume 5 to come out. And there are talks of it becoming live action, or at least a series on Netflix, which would be fucking sick. But there is a series on Netflix that's similar to it, which kind of pissed me off. But whatever. That's another one. But my main book, very popular. I think a lot of us are aware of it. It's Something's Killing the Children.
Is that also James Tynion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This one, it's this one's nuts because there are monsters. There's monsters in this world, and they are killing our children. And there's a whole secret society, again, similar to Department of Truth, that go out and kill these monsters that no one really knows about or experiences. But what happens is the main character, Erica Slaughter, she's part of this society that goes around and kills monsters. But she's kind of like her own thing. She doesn't follow what the society tells her to do. She's always like, fuck off. I'm going to go over here and, I'm going to take care of these people over here. And she's like, oh, well, you have to get rid of everyone. And she's like, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not killing everyone. I'm killing the monsters and walking off and going on my own journey. And then she's kind of like.
So they want her to handle it, but then leave no witnesses or something? Pretty
much. And so it's the House of Slaughter. There we go. The House of Slaughter is the agency. And that's why, like, after this volume 1 came out, first 15 issues is actually a series. The House of Slaughter came out of that and explained the House of Slaughter, how you became part of that, and you became these assassins of monsters. But there's like rules and stuff. But a solid read. I'm so into it. Book 2 came out, but it doesn't match this one. So I'm waiting for volume 2 to come out that matches this one.
Yeah,
I'm not going to mess up my collection. So,
one thing that DC has done a lot is every time they change the logo, even if they put out another volume of an ongoing series, it'll have the new logo, not the one that was on volumes 1, 2, and 3 or whatever that they've already put out. They'll still insist on putting the new one on it. And so people will be like, I've got this one fucking book with the Bullet logo and all these other ones with the minimalist one. I'm like, God, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, book 2's out and I want to get it, but it has like this slide cover. And I'm like, no, I didn't get the first one with the slide cover. Why the hell would I get the second one?
Oh my God, you're one of those.
Yes, I am.
I mean, look, this is, I'm not. Okay.
Breathe.
Okay. I was just talking about this the other day. I will be subscribed to a series, and I made a note on my box. I'm like,
I remember this.
Please just the A cover. Please just the A cover, because this has happened to me where, like, Gargoyle of Gotham, great example. I get issue 1. There's a delay. I'm waiting. Issue 2 finally comes out. I'm excited to go in to pick it up, and it's the noir edition. I'm like, wait a second. Why'd you give me the regular-ass number 1 and then a black and white version of number 2? That's strange. If you wanted to offer that in addition, sure. But then they didn't order any more for the wall. So I'm like, all right, I guess issue 2 is in black and white. And then the third issue comes out and it's regular. So now I have three issues, and one of them's black and white for no fucking reason. Or like I'll be getting like what was it? I think it was Batman Killing Time with Tom King and David Marquez or something around that time, where I was getting it every month, and then like one of them I wound up with some random ass artist variant. And like, is it that big of a deal? No, but like even on the variants, you're not getting the normal trade dress at the top or either. And so I'm like, I'm looking at, I got 6 issues or 8 issues, and then like one of them doesn't make sense. Or even last week, I went to pick up the last Halloween, and I was excited. There were more comics in my box than I expected to get. I didn't realize they all came out this last week. I was like, all right, awesome. Give me the stack. Sweet. And then I get home and I pull up the last Halloween. I'm like, that's not a Tim Sale cover, because this whole thing is like a tribute to him, and they've been reusing his old artwork and making covers out of him. I got the first 5 with his art, and number 6 is a fucking variant. I'm like, God damn. I just want a series that makes sense together. Come on, guys.
Yeah, for me especially with the hardcovers, I want consistency. You know, like all my Court of Owls or New 52, they're all hardcovers and they're all consistent. I like that look. But I'm waiting for the book 2 to match that one to come out. I'm not going to get the slipcase or anything, but I highly recommend Department of Truth and Something's Killing the Children. There's a lot going on in that. It's a fun read. And the last thing that's non-comic, and this is going to be funny, guys.
You son of a bitch. Oh, I know what you're going to pull up.
You already know.
I know what you're going to do. This is a friend of ours, right? Come on.
So Mrs. Murph Dog, or Katana Collins, she posted on her story that she was selling like some books that she had, or like a care package, but 50% of the proceeds went to like whatchamacallit.
Oh, was that for the LA fires?
No, it was for a dog shelter.
Oh, the Humane Society thing.
Yeah,
Right.
the Humane Society. And I was like, you know what? Cool, I'll buy it. Whatever. And then, funny enough, I ordered it, and then she messaged me, and she's like, which book don't you have?
Right.
Yeah, because I read novels, or what some of you may say, real books. Go fuck yourself.
We call those chapter books.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. But she sent over this book. It's called Shortcakes. It's chicks read this stuff.
I like that cover.
I actually enjoyed the few books I've read by her, and it's big glittering. Quick reads, right? It's I'll get on.
I've tried to get my wife to read her stuff because she reads a lot of romance and stuff, but
can get to a little too spicy sometimes. But I enjoy her writing. I think this is going to be my 3rd book I'm going to read by her, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll read it on my way to Chicago to C2E2 in 2 weeks. But that's everything I've been reading. I don't think there's anything else. Just trying to catch up, really.
Well, then let me pick up here. I kicked it off. I'm going to close this out. This is what I finished reading today. This is the Batman and Robin Adventures Omnibus.
Oh, nice.
So this is all 25 issues of the 2nd series, because there was the Batman Adventures, and then this one went all the way up to the reboot when they did the New Adventures of Batman or whatever it's called. So they, character design. So this is all the original style, but it's Batman and Robin. I personally think this stuff is stronger than the first run. I don't know if you guys have read these. They're like Paul Dini did a lot of them. Ty Templeton.
I read them so long ago where I had to reread it.
Yeah,
next episode.
I liked the Batman Adventures, but I thought that they really hit their stride with this one, and it's not quite fully consistent. I think the first 20 issues are pretty much the same team, and it's really, really good. The last 5 issues, it's a little bit off model because they switch up the artists a little bit, but still very good. And it has 5 bonus issues that's called The Lost Years, and it also has the movie adaptation from Sub-Zero. And so this has got a lot in it, and it's actually a pretty cheap book for an Omni. You can get this for like $45 on like in-stock trades or probably Amazon. But yeah, this is actually
We're not sponsored. Yes.
This is like half the cost of the Batman Adventures one. So that's why I bought this first, even though it's the second one. But yeah, pretty cool. And then today I just got in the mail, I mentioned Ben Percy. I got volume 1 of his Wolverine run with Adam Kubert. And he has a lot of volumes of this. I haven't heard anything about an omnibus coming. So for now, I'm just going to get these hardcovers one at a time. But this is first 12 issues, and I'm looking forward to it. I just did a quick skim. Like, I literally opened this right before we sat down to record, but I'm seeing some gnarly Omega Red shit, and the artwork just looks awesome. So pretty excited about that. And I've got another one. I thought it was supposed to be here today, and FedEx just didn't show up. But yeah,
they do that.
That's what I got for right now. So
nice.
Anything you guys are looking forward to, or should we call it a day?
I'm looking forward to, and it'll be a while, but it's volume 2 of Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones' Dracula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got book 1, and this was a Kickstarter campaign. Oh, it's crazy, dude. It's basically Matt Wagner retelling the tale of Dracula through his eyes, and how he became, Dracula. And it's all based on the canon story that Kelly Jones, we talked to him as part of, there's this other little podcast we do called Bat Force Radio, where we have
some little thing,
spooktacular.
Maybe
I think we've had like 6 or 7 years. Every year we talk to him, and it's always so fun. But he says that, he was telling how in the original novel, there's just little phrases that I forget who the original artist or author was, but just mentions how Dracula acquired these magical abilities, because those aren't acquired just from being a vampire. He actually trained under Satan. He went to a satanic Hogwarts.
This is his Batman origin story. You got to go see him train in the Himalayas.
Exactly. and just to see, because, as we mentioned in other podcast episodes, a lot of times the origin story of a villain is where he's trying to do something in his eye he feels is noble. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to save his own kingdom and people. But to do it, he's got to become the worst thing that he can imagine. And even beyond that.
Is it fair to say this is maybe a little bit like a Swamp Thing kind of thing, like where you're from the monster's perspective and you're trying to have a more empathetic view of this creature? Yeah.
You're trying to have empathy for the devil here. And I mean, it is brutal. Kelly Jones does not hold back on his artwork. I'm talking like it shows him impaling people through their sphincters. I mean, that's page 1 or 2. I mean, it's because he's Vlad the Impaler. And people had to die a certain way back then and to get the message across.
Poop shoot.
And
iron.
I mean, it is sick.
That's tough.
So, and actually, I think this is actually available in Barnes and Noble. I saw it on a shelf. But yeah, they've got.
So it was a Kickstarter project, and then it got a wide release because of the success.
Yeah, they went through. I think it was Dark Horse, or no, maybe Dark Horse put it out for a wider release, but Oh,
right, because you've got the OG printing right there. So
yeah, and I hate Kickstarter because I've been burned on so many campaigns in the past where people just basically scam you and take your money, and then you lose
the project fell apart and they didn't deliver.
Yeah, or they get fully funded and then it never happens, and you're like, well, "Where's my money? I paid you X amount of dollars."
Yeah,
and you never hear from them.
I'm waiting about 5-6 years for a documentary that I paid a Kickstarter for.
Yeah. Kickstarter does not have a refund policy. They're just like, you're an investor, and
it's like taxes.
Yeah, it's like you're an investor, and sometimes the investment doesn't work out, but with names behind it, and Matt Wagner is one of my all-time favorite writers / artists. I love his Grundle series. So with those two names behind it, I was like, how can you not support this?
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to volume 2 of that.
Cool. Anything on the horizon for you, Dave?
No, just looking to get my fucking volume 2 of Something's Killing the Children that matches my volume 1.
Or you got to sell your volume 1, get the other version, and then
that's too much work, homie. I'm done. I do enough. I'm not going to do all that. I'm looking forward to read this volume 2 of Something's Killing the Children. I've heard great things. Talking to James, he's really excited. It's another thing that might become a live action. That one has a higher probability of becoming live action than DOT. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to all those projects. And instead of seeing the art on the comic book, I like to see if it could reflect on the screen, and not me pissed off because writers change shit around when the story's already so good. So we'll see. Hopefully the live action, if and when, is fitting, but I'm just looking forward to it.
Sweet. Well, this has been the Indie Fanatic Podcast signing off.